what is the mentality that, like, for all us business owners, everyone's listened to this, has shiny object syndrome? Why? Is it because we're not happy with what we've got? Because we think that the grass on the other side of the fence is always going to be better? Like, where does this come from?
Greed?
No, Charlie, I'm not greedy. Like,
well, how deep do you want to go down the biological rabbit hole on this, Grant?
Hey, take me on a journey on this one. I have no idea.
Hey, well, listen, strap yourself in, baby, because but look, why do we seek external solutions? A lot of it comes down to how our brain evolved. And I'll just get a little bit anthropological on you, is, we all have this brain that is evolved to seek survival, also known as certainty, in the short term. So that's the survival impulse. Any threat, any change in our environment triggers our brain to seek a solution that preserves life. Now, to our brain, life or threat or money on the line or some external scenario is inseparable from threat to life. So for our brain is constantly getting triggered into seeking solutions to the pain of uncertainty. Right?
Can we use an example of that? So if someone, let's say someone's trading and they're they put a trade on, so they're risking money in this case here.
Yes.
The idea of losing that money is firing that survival brain.
Correct.
Or could potentially. Is that right? Can you set that up?
Yeah, so what happens in that scenario, and particularly the compressed environment of trading, where the survival brain, the emotional brain, triggers to fight flight in about 0.06 of a second, so about 6 nanoseconds. The rational brain doesn't come online till about 0.25 of a second. So in this flash of a heartbeat, the moment that your survival brain, your emotional brain, perceives a threat, it reroutes everything straight to fight flight to preserve life. Now, your emotional state then overpowers your thinking state. And this is why traders make impulsive decisions which they step away from later and go, what the hell was I thinking? I've got a system that works. I know it works. I've proven that it works. But why do I keep doing these stupid things? I don't
Thank God it's only
understand
traders, not business owners. Thank God.
That's where I was going to go. How does this apply? To trading, I can get the compressed thing because it's a very fast sport. It's like probably one of the fastest sports there is. Where I think there's even high frequency trading for the real junkies, right? You can go
scalping. Yeah.
The point being is, how does this work in the business owner context? Because I would go as far to say, I believe I've met people and even been a person that's just been in constant fight or flight because of my business.
It's a very high stress state to sit in, right? Fight, flight constantly, or freeze, which is the other one. Yeah. So fight, flight, freeze. So you either run, attack, or shrink yourself down to be invisible so the threat goes away. I mean, they're the normal threats that I think everybody can relate to. But from a business owner sense, and this goes back to what you said, Grant, the search for solutions to resolve that uncertainty means that your brain's always looking out for these solutions. So all of a sudden, some marketing genius who knows how the human brain works, Charley, put your hand in there, marketing, says, right, I know how the human brain works. I know that people are looking for solutions. I call it the ab cruncher model, right?
Ash, I've got to jump in on this.
Oh, this is a great
So
one.
what I've been doing is I've actually been posting screenshots of my TikTok results and putting it on Facebook because I know that everyone's a little bit challenged on Facebook right now. And I've just been watching people feel that their life could be more certain if they were doing TikTok ads. So this exact thing, you watch them swarm, jumps in. It's unbelievable what comes out of that. But continue on.
That's a good example. It's a really good example. And marketers have known this for 100 years, how to manipulate human behavior to get people to make decisions that are not necessarily in their best interests, right? So when it comes to, your earlier statement, Grant, about, why do business owners, why do we tend to suffer more from shiny object syndrome? Well, let's understand what that entrepreneurial journey, you don't generally have a structure around you. You're not in prison where you know what you've got to do at any given time of the day. That's corporate world, essentially. Turn up at this time, sit at this desk, do this job, be reviewed like this. These are the metrics. This is how you're held to account. This is how you justify your job. All of that stuff is laid out, and it's either a prison or you like that environment. But then you come out into the business world where generally those things dissolve. There's no one telling you what to do. There's no proven pathway. There's no clock on or clock off. There's none of those things. So that very thing that you seek, freedom, actually can become the thing that crushes you because you've got to make all your own decisions. Now, what happens in that environment from a psychological perspective is we're always looking and attracted to things that we think can fix a problem, right? So we're not necessarily thinking strategically big picture. Is that actually what I need for the big picture? Is that actually consistent with where I'm going and what I'm building and what I need? So you can very easily end up with, a lot of these things attached around your business and your head. And at a psychological level, it's incredibly damaging to your, what I would call your self-belief. Your belief in your own ability to discipline yourself gets constantly chipped away at. And this is one of the big things that we look at with coaching, is to help people to understand what's going on and to start to rebuild that belief in seeing things through and being able to choose what serves me now versus what doesn't serve me now. I mean, I would challenge anybody to go to their phone and have a look at how many subscriptions they've got compared to how many they actually use, right? So how many apps have you got on your phone compared to how many you actually use? It's probably 1 in 10, question. 1 in 20.
I refuse to answer. Is that?
On the grounds it may incriminate you. Yeah, correct. But look, it's quite normal. There's nothing wrong with you. So I would say to business owners, don't remove the shame, remove the guilt. There's actually nothing wrong with you. It's actually very normal. But what is your responsibility is to do something about it, right? Is to understand, well, what can I strip away? And this is, when we were thinking through a couple of ideas prepping for this chat, I mentioned a concept called via negativa, which is where you improve through subtraction. You take things away rather than add things on. Because human nature, we're always adding things on. We're always making things more complex. And this is why that old proverb of the answer lying in plain sight comes from. Because the answer is always right in front of you, but we end up adding all these things on, believing that we need to resolve that pain of uncertainty, that pain of not knowing. Because, the brain built for certainty, and we live in a world which is completely random and uncertainty. A meteor could drop out of the sky and squash us right now. We don't know that. So we live this conflicted existence where we're seeking certainty in a very uncertain life. And business, guess what's more uncertain than starting a business and not knowing exactly what the future holds? That's actually a real challenge to the way the brain works. So it's no wonder we're always looking for things to fix short-term solutions that don't necessarily serve us long-term, if that makes sense.
Hey, fellow business owner, if this topic and value-packed short video has resonated with you at all, and you want to dive deeper into being a full stack business owner, check out the full episode by clicking the link on your screen or in the description right now.